All right, today we're going to break down an investment strategy that, honestly, feels completely wrong at first glance, but it might just be incredibly right. Get this. It's not about making a bit of cash every month. No, this is a 10-year plan, a wealth engine, really, designed to build something serious. And it does that by flipping conventional wisdom completely on its head. So let's just jump right in with a question that probably breaks every rule you've ever heard about investing. Can you get wealthy from an investment that literally loses you money every single month? I mean, it sounds totally backwards, right? A guaranteed loss. But as you're about to see, the answer is absolutely yes.
Because this is what we're talking about. We're aiming for over $764,000 in equity. And that's not over a lifetime. That's in just 10 years. It's a massive number, I know. So let's dive into the mechanics and figure out exactly how this is even possible.
Okay, so Section 1, a counterintuitive investment. And right off the bat, you've got to do something that might feel a little uncomfortable. You know that golden rule of real estate, the one that says every property has to be cash flow positive from day one? Yeah, you need to forget it. Just throw it out the window. We're playing a completely different game here. And this, right here, this is basically the engine room for the whole strategy. What you're looking at is a 10-year projection. It maps out everything. I mean, everything. How the property's value grows, how the loan balance shrinks, all of it, year by year. So let's pop the hood and take a look at the key parts. Okay, so any plan like this has to start with some basic assumptions, right? Here are ours. We're talking about a $1 million property with an $800,000 loan. Now, the two big drivers are, first, a pretty conservative 3% appreciation each year, so think more like long-term inflation. We're not banking on some crazy market bubble. And second, for this example, a low interest rate. Now look, your numbers might be different, but the principle, the core idea we're about to unpack, that stays exactly the same. And here it is, the paradox, right there in black and white. So in year one, the rent you're collecting is about $3,000, but your total costs, your mortgage, your expenses, are almost $3,500. You do the math, and that means you're in the hole by $454 every single month. Now, for 99% of investors, this is a giant red flag. They see that negative number and they are out the door. But what if we're looking at that number all wrong? And that brings us to the absolute core idea of this whole thing. We've got to redefine what we mean by loss. Because you have to ask yourself, that money going out every month, is it really a loss? Or could it be something else, something much more powerful? Okay, let's break down that $3,500 that's going out every month. It doesn't just disappear into thin air. A chunk of it goes to interest, sure. Another piece covers taxes and other expenses. But look at this big slice right here. A huge part of that payment is principal repayment. It's actually paying down your loan. And this is the huge mental shift you have to make. That principal repayment, it's not an expense. It's not money you're losing, it's you paying yourself. Every single dollar that goes toward the principal is a dollar of debt that vanishes, and it instantly becomes a dollar of equity, ownership that belongs to you. It's basically a forced savings account, one that you can't easily dip into. So once you see it that way, it reframes the whole picture. You're not really losing $454 a month. You're investing it. It's the price of admission to keep control of this million-dollar asset while it quietly grows in the background. So if the goal isn't positive cash flow, then what is actually making you wealthy here? Well, it all comes down to two powerful engines that are just humming along in the background, working for you 24/7. Let's look at them. Engine number one is good old-fashioned property appreciation. With that conservative 3% growth per year, that million-dollar house you started with is now worth over $1.3 million just 10 years later. That's a $340,000 gain, pretty much just from letting time and inflation do their thing. And engine number two is loan amortization. Now, while your asset is getting more valuable, your debt is doing the exact opposite. It's systematically shrinking. Every single month, every single payment, that original $800,000 loan gets smaller and smaller until it's down below $580,000 10 years later. And when you put those two engines together, you get this. And it's just a beautiful thing to see. Your asset value is on an escalator going up. Your debt is on an escalator going down. And that growing gap in the middle, that's your equity. That is your wealth. And it just compounds silently in the background while you're living your life. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This sounds great, but what about the risk? And that's a fair question.
But what's so smart about this strategy is that it's designed to get safer the longer you're in it. In this plan, time is your absolute best friend. And this timeline just lays it all out. Take a look. That monthly cash shortfall, it actually gets smaller and smaller over the years as rents slowly creep up. But that's not even the most important part. Look at your equity. By year 7, you've built up over $500,000 in ownership. That's a huge financial cushion. And that's exactly why time is your biggest risk management tool here. I mean, let's be honest, the risk is definitely higher in those first couple of years. But as you build that wall of equity, brick by brick, your whole position just gets stronger and stronger. Think about it. A dip in the market in year 8 is way less scary than in year 1 because you've got this massive buffer protecting you. So fast forward 10 years. You've been disciplined, you've weathered that initial period of negative cash flow. What now? Well, now you've got 2 incredible things: a significant amount of wealth, and just as important, you've got options.
Yeah, this is not a 30-year prison sentence where you're locked in. The whole point is to create flexibility and power. I mean, look, by year 5 alone, you've got almost $500,000 in equity. By year 10, it's over $760,000. At that point, you're in the driver's seat. You can sell it and take the cash, you can hold on and let it keep growing, or you could even refinance, pull some of that equity out, and go buy your next property. And this is where the strategy really shines, when you stack it up against the alternatives. I mean, what are you going to do instead? Hold cash in the bank? You know inflation is just going to eat that up. Wait for the perfect time to buy? You could be waiting forever, missing out on all this growth. This plan is proactive. You lock in a major asset now, and you actually make inflation your employee. You put it to work for you. And that really brings us to maybe the most important takeaway of this whole thing. It's this simple idea. Doing nothing is also a decision. Deciding to wait, deciding to keep your money in cash, that's an active choice, and believe me, it has very real financial consequences. So ultimately, what we've looked at here is a path where you're just redefining the goal. It's not about chasing a few $100 in rent every month. It's about the long game, building a massive, life-changing asset over a decade. So the question is, could reframing a loss as an investment totally change your financial future? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for watching.